Welcome. This video is to go over the first part of Chapter 3. Now for Chapter 3, we're going to break this into a couple of sections, or I should say a couple of videos, and in this video we're going to cover the first two sections. Let's go ahead and jump in. The first section we're going to talk about is the CN object. So with the CN object, it's similar to the cout, except it's just the reverse. It uses the IOStream file, so like with cout, you had to have this declared at the top of your file, your code file, so that way it makes sure to bring all of the IOStream file into your file. And it reads input from the keyboard. Now, like with cout, we had the operator, but with CN, we're going to use the opposite operator. Instead of greater than, we're going to use less than. And whatever comes in from the keyboard, we're going to store it in one or more variables. Let's take a quick look at what a simple project would look like using CN. The CN, in this, we've set up 3 variables, and we're making some cout statements, which basically, as we can look down here, it says this program calculates the area of a rectangle all on one line. We got a nice little line break. And then we're going to do one more cout that says the prompt. What is the length of the rectangle? CN then takes the input from the user and puts it into the length. So forth and so on. We're going to go ahead and then take the length and width, multiply together to get the area. And that's how we get the final prompt here, where we actually output the area. So this is for a rectangle. Now the CN object converts data to the type that matches the variable. If you declare an integer and you take and you CN and you try to put data into that, it's going to expect an integer. So if the user types a character, it's going to error out. So understand that. If you want to take in a string, you need to make sure that your CN is pointing to a string. A prompt, displaying a prompt, we kind of already went over this a little bit, but this is a little bit more detailed level. So with cout, in here we've got the prompt, and make sure you put the space there. Users are really like that space there, but no inline, because we want the CN to stay on the same line. So as they're typing the characters out, let's say it's 20, when they type that 2, they want to see it on the same line. So that's why we don't have an inline character. And then we can actually ask for more than one variable at the same time. In this case, we have the CN, and we're using our greater than sign into height and then into width. And by doing this, the keyboard is going to expect 2 inputs from the user. With multiple values from the keyboard, they must be separated by spaces. Order is important. The first value entered goes into the first variable, and the second value, and so forth and so on. So here's a little bit of an example. This is our the program we had before for the rectangle, and instead of all the prompts, now we're just saying, hey, enter the length and width of the rectangle separated by a space. So we're going to put 10 space 20 enter as the user, and by doing that with one CN, we can put 10 and 20 in the respective variables, and that allows us to do quickly the rectangle. Let's take another look at another application that we've got here real quick. Again, in this one, we're saying enter an integer, a double, and a character, but they have to all be entered with a space in between. Or we can actually ask for these values on separate lines. And there you have it. All right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about some mathematical expressions. Again, if you've learned some other languages, even simple languages, you'll probably understand a lot of this. It's nothing more than understanding pretty basic. In fact, if you've used Excel, you'll probably understand most of this already. So this may go quick for you. Feel free. These videos on YouTube. I know you can increase the speed. I typically do, so that way I can talk really fast. It's a lot of fun. With the mathematical expression, you can create complex expressions using multiple mathematical operators. We talked about those operators in the last chapter. An expression can be a literal, a variable, or a combination of constants and variables. So, and remember, a literal is just a constant because you can't change it. It's already literal, so you can't change it. So it can be used in assignment, counts, and other statements. So in this example, we have area equals 2 times pi times radius. Now pi, because it's in all caps, we can just assume that this is a constant. And with that, we're taking the data we've got here, which is border is, and we're putting all this to the cout, including this expression, which is 2 times L plus W. And again, we're going to assume that L plus W is some type of variable. So like everything, we have order of operations. In this expression, with more than one operation, we evaluate things in order. We use unary negation in order left to right. We do multiplication, division, and modulus in order left to right. And then we do plus and minus in order left to right. In this expression, 2 plus 2 times 2 minus 2. So we're going to evaluate the multiplication first, and then we're going to do the plus second, and then the minus third. And again, that's because we do have an order to even the plus and minus. We do plus first and then minus. So again, this is a little bit of a table and what would happen in this expression. Take a look at this as you get time to kind of understand it. Make sure you understand fully order of operation. So when you start to put parentheses into the group, again, I think we would expect that it's going to operate in this manner. Take a look at this slide. Make sure you understand this. Oftentimes, if you get into a situation where you need to do this kind of math, most of the time, if you don't know it right off the top of your head, you just have to do kind of that research to remind you. But it's very standard to what we would expect in math. Again, another table of examples for you to look through. Do the math as you would expect it. Make sure you're coming out with the right values. If not, then I would take a moment to walk through that. Send me some emails if you need to, and ask questions on why you may have gotten something wrong, and I can help you with that. Algebraic expressions. So multiplication requires an operator. Area is written as area equals length times width. So here, we can't just say area LW. It doesn't work programmatically, so we do have to put that star in between. And there's no exponential operator. Area equals f to the second power, right? Is written as area equals, and this is power, f, comma, 2. Parentheses may be needed to maintain order of operations. So m equals y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. To accomplish this, we're going to have to write with parentheses to say that these should be grouped together, both the top and the bottom, with a divide in the middle. And that's how you do algebraic expressions. Again, take a look at this table. Make sure you kind of understand it. And if you don't, shoot me some messages, and or go to our Q&A discussion forum and post some stuff in there, and students as well as myself will jump in there and give some help. So that's the end of this part 1. Next, we're going to jump in and talk about when you mix apples with oranges, type conversion.